I suspect I'm going to receive a whole bunch of criticism for saying this, but one of my beliefs is that if I have difficulty memorizing something, it's probably because it's my least favorite, and I'm not sure why that is in the case of this particular number. So before I go on with that disclaimer, welcome to this new release. Thank you for subscribing to this channel, being followers of Carlos, and hopefully with a little bit of direction from your comments, we can learn from each other how to develop names for characters in your book. Now, without further ado, the number 8. Most of my background relies too heavily on math, which is why the first thing I know about this number is it's 2 times 2 times 2. And I'm not sure how that correlates to numerology, other than what I have already said in the video on number 2. And the bigger irony, given what I said earlier, is the chapter I wrote on it in Gemini's numerology, how to write your novel, has to do with artistic flair. The strengths sound too much like the weaknesses, with a clever twist. Basically, with the number 8, it can be very sarcastic to the point of being acidic. So it seems like this number is great as a emotionally manipulative lawyer. The second weakness is doing too good a job of not being emotionally expressive. So it seems like there's a big contrast between 5 and 8. 5 seeks emotional freedom, whereas 8 treats emotions as if they're a weakness. And normally I would be able to come up with a third weakness, but right now the only one I can think of is 8 can be too materialistic, quite possibly for the same reasons 2 is. However, 8 has numerous strengths, and as I believe I put it in that book, when is it good to be acidic? When is that a strength? And it's when they are fighting on your behalf. They're saying the things you have always wanted to hear in a way that uplifts you. When is being materialistic good? Well, it's great if you're the owner of a museum, because then you can share that wealth with the general public. But one of 8's greatest strengths is her magnetic charm. before she even commits one good or evil deed, or any deed at all, there is something about her that makes you want to do what she asks. So perhaps that's the third weakness, is when that strength is used for selfish gain. Now, as always, there are three what I call filters when it comes to numerology. They are the soul's urge, the outer expression, as well as the full name. Eight is a deeply emotional number, which is why I started off with soul's urge. Basically, as she empathizes and sympathizes with others, she feels this symbol bless her life. She gradually learns how to express her emotions and how to protect those she cares about. Whereas the outer expression, the emphasis of this perspective is on how others perceive your character. So instead of her viewing herself as deeply emotional, others view her as deeply emotional and perhaps even secretive, up until she becomes emotionally available, and that unlocks her vast wisdom. Lastly, there's the full name, or FN for short. As mentioned earlier, a lawyer can make great use of 8 because of the emotional impact, as well as keeping emotions tightly bound. Another good job would be a counselor, because she can relate to others. A third one is an actor or an actress, because each of them is, it's a necessity to know when to express certain emotions to make the character more convincing. And hopefully this video has done a good job of igniting your imagination. And I almost forgot, the color associated with this number is crimson red, which makes sense because the 8th house is also Scorpio's house. So they share that in common. And if you want to take a trip down the imaginary lane, then just imagine the various floors of a 3-floor house full of what you would expect a lawyer or an actor or an actress to have, as well as how the color crimson impacts you. As always, I look forward to reading your comments and hearing what you have to think about this number. And may 8 bless you. Thank you.